1, 2, testing, testing, 1, 2, testing. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this first in the series of the American Truck Simulator Masterclass. Now, this specific live stream is for all those who have only the base SCS map plus any SCS DLC map add-ons. So I've got a lot to get through tonight. Although I'm right the way back on version 137, all of this will apply to whatever version you're on. It's just a case of hunting the correct mod version down and away you go. Now, I've called this profile my SCS Pro profile because this profile is all about driving enjoyment, but also challenging your driving skills. So it's designed from the get-go to be a bit of a challenge, and it's also designed for full immersion. Now, I just want to say before we start, every mod, every setting that I'm going to show you is 100% free, so you don't have to get the wallet or the credit card out. Okay, so this is designed with the free-to-play player in mind. Hey up, Johnny, lovely to see you. Hope you're safe and well. So at the end, I'll take you through the profile and show you what mods I personally recommend after hundreds of hours of testing. As I say, this is aimed squarely at the new free-to-play player. Now, a full list of settings that I heartily recommend you apply to your game to get the most immersive experience out of it is underneath the live stream description. Now, you'll see that because I'm back on 137, not all map mods are available, so that's the total extent of this profile. Obviously, if you're on the latest 155 and you've bought all the map DLCs, you'll have all of this area here filled in. And if you've not bought anything, then you'll just have the 3 states here. That one, and this one here. So no matter what you've got, you know, this is all about the immersive driving. So this is not about mega map combos. This is about thoroughly challenging your virtual driving skills and abilities. And I'll take you through all the settings, and I'll take you through all the mods in the profile at the end of the live stream. But what I'll do is we'll just get this delivery done, and I'll give you a taste and a flavour of how it differs from the stock out of the box trucking experience. You'll notice straight away that the truck feels alive, so there is a good degree of movement within the cab, but it's not over the top. You know, so if you hit a bump, look, your cab's gonna bounce. It's as simple as that. You know, it's also about controlling your vehicle, learning to park your trailers properly, and it's also about immersing yourself in the whole driving experience, whereas out the box it can feel very unnatural, very unreal. This profile is also aimed squarely at keyboard drivers like me. If you use a steering wheel and pedals and other gadgets, then this live stream might not be of a lot of interest to you. Now we have got our own trailer on the back, but it's only a starter trailer, as we need to start and learn to park our trailers up. I heartily recommend that you put your parking difficulty onto random, so you never know what you're going to get. Sometimes you're going to get a real simple easy time of it, other times you're going to have your worst nightmare. Now on top of that, I've also added a free mod which populates all the garages, all the drop-off points, etc. with trucks, trailers and equipment. So it's a gazillion times harder than the standard vanilla game. Just bear with me a second. Really nice setting, Ebeez. Thanks for this one. Yeah, you're very welcome, Johnny. Now, as I say, we've got an awful lot of information to get through, but I'll try and keep it as basic and simple as I can. Please bear in mind that I am playing this game on a very budget entry-level PC, and on top of that I'm also live streaming it. So again, I'll give you some invaluable tips that make the difference between buttery smooth and picture book stuttering. Now, as American Truck and Euro Truck have been developed by SCS Software, the parent company, and subsequent versions have been released, if you're on the latest version, which is 1.55, well, stuttering and micro freezing comes as standard, even if you've got an absolute top of the range NVIDIA graphics card. It's nothing you are or are not doing. It's the game. It's the game engine. It's the lack of optimization. It's the features that SCS are adding. Now, the reason I'm back on 137 is it's buttery smooth and an amazing experience. Downside is, well, I lose compatibility with all of the map DLCs that I've purchased. But on the upside, I get a super immersive experience, which is, you know, absolutely challenging to the nines. And I can't just go speeding round the corners, because not only the truck will turn over, but so will the trailers. So I hate to use this term. I've tried to keep it as real life as I possibly can, if such a thing exists. I prefer the term immersive. So when I call something immersive or I talk about immersion, I'm talking about keeping it as real life as I possibly can. You know, all the things that real life truckers have to go through. Now, you may not want that full experience, so you can turn off the various different features that don't appeal to you and still retain a fully immersive experience. Just bear with me, let me check the chat. Hey up, Irvin, how you diddly doing? Can I buy Texas DLC without buying New Mexico? Yes, you can, and I would heartily recommend that you search the game key sites, because they usually have a ton of special offers on DLCs that are not on Steam. Or if you've bought and purchased the game on Steam, you can buy it individually straight from Steam as a DLC. So yes, you can do that, or you can buy it as part of a bundle, or you can go to a third-party Steam key site and get even more bang for your buck. So the choice is completely yours. Now, I was watching Dan's stream this morning, aka Goggles, 5060 does his ride along with goggles series, and Dan has got a pretty darn good and expensive gaming rig. And again today he was complaining about micro stuttering and micro freezing, you know, and he's got an expensive PC. This is very much a, you know, budget entry level at best. It's an older PC, you know, and I'm getting this sort of immersive experience where Dan is not. Well, that's for two reasons. Reason number one, it's because I'm on an older version of the game, and reason number two, it's because I know a couple of cheeky settings that you need to alter in order to have this sort of experience. And I get the impression that Dan hasn't got a clue why. I could cure Dan's stuttering on his rig in a heartbeat, but I'll go through all that at the end of the live stream. Sorry, just bear with me a second. Hey up Dave, how you diddly doing? I hope Mrs. Dave's safe and well. Lovely to see you. Now I am using an SCS truck here with an SCS paint job on, so it's nothing you guys and girls can't go and get straight away. You know, there's no expensive third-party mod truck, no expensive third-party accessories, skins or mods of any kind. As I say, every mod I'm using in this profile build is available for pretty much most versions of the game. All you've got to do is go and hunt them down. I'll show you my mod load order, and again mine is after hours and hours of testing, and the mods that I've settled on are pretty much the same group of mods that I would include in any profile build. Now, as I say, this is squarely aimed away at the keyboard driver, and it's squarely aimed away at the new player who perhaps doesn't have an awful lot of map DLC, and that's fine. You know, you have the map that the game came with, and that's about it, and that's absolutely fine, my lovelies. Now you'll see as we pull into here to this way station that it's absolutely populated and padded out with trucks. Normally it's empty, and that is what one of the mods that I've included in my profile build does. So I've gone for content immersion rather than whacking a load of free third-party maps in there, because I think the immersion is what keeps people playing the game. I really do. And although American Truck Simulator is known as the pay-to-play game, in that arguably all the best mods are payware, that's really not the case in 2025. No matter what version of the game you've got. Oh my lord, look at this lot. What on earth is gunning on here? You know, you can have a beautiful Peterbilt 389. You can have an amazing engine sound. I've got a buzzing dozen under the hood. I'm sure you Americans know what a buzzing dozen is. Yeah, it's a Detroit diesel, 12 cylinder. Just to be a little bit different really. But you know, if you want a Caterpillar, if you want a Cummins, well, that's all available to you 100% free of charge. And again, I'll go through all of that at the end of the stream, because there is a hell of a lot to take in and learn. As I say, an awful lot of it is listed under this stream's description. You know, everything from your physics settings, you know, to your Steam load up command, you name it, it's all under there for you, to your tweak settings, and then I'll show you quite a few tips and tricks that I've deployed which allow me to thoroughly enjoy the pants out of any build really. But I thought we'd start the series off on a base SCS build because there is a lot of people out there who will buy the game on sale for a couple of dollars and then get awfully pissed off when they watch their favourite streamer and they realise that actually to have what their favourite streamer's got, it's probably going to cost a couple of $1,000. It kind of makes a bit of a mockery of paying a couple of dollars for the game. So, my experience is, look, it's an impossible task, but what I'm trying to get is a couple of $1,000 worth of feel for a couple of dollars in reality. That's really where I'm at and what I'm after. And as I say, if you use steering wheel pedals, then this stream is no good for you. Been done for jumping a red light. But if, like me, you're a keyboard driver and you're sick of your steering wheel jerking all over the place and you can't get it smooth, you can't get the cab to bounce around how you'd like, you know, you just can't get that level of immersion that you're absolutely craving, then this stream's defo gonna be for you. Now I say, it's your choice the level of immersion that you want to deploy. You'll probably notice that I've not got fatigue switched on. Now that's a very, very important feature for truckers in real life. This isn't real life, this is immersion. So again, it's fine to turn stuff off that either you don't like or you don't want in the game. It's absolutely fine, because at the end of the day it's your game, it's your game time, it's your pleasure, and you do what you want to do and screw everybody else, basically. Now as I say, I've set this up for immersion using only SCS material, so all of you can absolutely go out right now and replicate this experience on your version of American Truck Simulator. And you know, you can do this on pretty much, as I say, any version of American Truck. The fact that I'm back on 137, as I say, is for a very, very good reason. But you know, if you're on 150, if you're on 153, 154, 155, no problem. You can absolutely replicate this level of immersion in the game 100% free of charge. The only thing it's going to take is a little bit of your time. But I've done all the testing and all the blood, sweat and tears, so you don't have to. You have two choices. You can either lean on my experience and benefit greatly from it, or you can ignore it, say screw you Ebeez, I'm going to do it my way, and you know what, that's absolutely fine. But I'm just here for all the people who want this sort of immersion but have no clue on how to go about achieving it. Okay, so at this point we can park the trailer up, which I heartily recommend you do, or you can just hit the any key and it will park it for you and give you your just rewards. Okay, so let me me just check the chat before we go any further. Hey up, Ben, lovely to see you. Hey Steve, where's the SWOTA? Well, I'm a bit busy with other games at the minute, Ben, to be honest. I'm a bit spoilt for choice. But the SWOTA is still here, and I will probably do some SWOTA this weekend if I get the chance. It just depends on real life and everything else. Okay, so let's go and have a look at the SCS Pro profile and see what it's all about. So let's go to the mod manager. Now, I could put a list of all these mods that I've got deployed underneath the video with shortcut links to them, but of course that would pertain to 137. You might be on 143, you might be on 155. So if you want to replicate this immersive experience, it's up to you to go and hunt the specific mods down. Okay, so the first mod that I'm using is the Painted Truck Traffic Pack by Jazzy Cat. Freely and readily available on pretty much any mod site. The next mod is the American Truck Stop. Now, the American Truck Stop is a wonderful mod that not many people use, which populates all your truck stops, all your way stations, all your pick up and drop off points with trucks and trailers, making your parking and etc. far more challenging. The next mod is a Caterpillar skin trailer pack. You can find this on the Steam Workshop. This is compatible, I think, with all versions of the game. Now, I do also have an SCS 389 cat skin installed and ready to go, which again is freely available off the Steam Workshop. If it has this little blue icon, you know that it's come from the Steam Workshop. If it doesn't have a little blue icon, then I've downloaded it from a third party mod site. The next mod is Hemmel's Route Advisor. I specifically love this mod because it puts a strip at the bottom of your screen with all your job and truck information, and it puts two tiny mirrors at the top, one left, one right, and it adds GPS in the centre smack on your steering wheel. That's very much a personal choice. The next addition I've got is Sissel's Mega Pack, because that adds a lot of in-cab accessories that normally you wouldn't have access to. And again, it's terrific if you've only bought the base game. It still allows you to have lots of different accessories in the cab. The next thing I've got is the Peterbilt steering wheel logo. Now this is purely for the Steering Creations pack, and what it does is replaces the SCS logo in the centre of the steering wheel with the Peterbilt logo, only because I knew I was going to drive a Peterbilt. Next up is Big T's Brightex LED Beacons pack. Again, this is available for all versions off the Steam Workshop, and this will allow you to add some really cool beacons to your trucks. The next thing I've got installed is a custom wheel pack that allows me to put custom wheels on. This is only downloadable if you know where to get it. This is not a Steam Workshop mod. The next one is the realistic train lengths, which takes the normal trains and makes them realistic in length. So when you're at a train crossing and a train comes by, you know, it's not 4 cars long. It's realistic. Some of them can be 20-25 cars long. The next mod is the Chasing Camera Improvement mod. This again is on the Steam Workshop, and what this does is it changes the field of view when you push your 8 key to do a drive-by shot, and what it eliminates is looking at the wireframe of the inside of your trailer. So it zooms it out enough so that you never have to suffer that. Wonderful little mod, highly recommended. Okay, now for me, this is if you only install one mod, this is the mod you want to install. So it's by Alexander Karzak. It's available for SCS trucks and most mod trucks, and it's the truck physics. And if you have this mod installed, underneath the live stream video I've also put all the settings that you need to enter into your console to get that realistic truck suspension experience. Okay, the next is increased delivery time for ATS. This is by Dark Captain. This is specifically for 1.37. It's not available on the Steam Workshop, unfortunately. So if you are on 136, 137, 138, you will have to go hunting for it. The next mod is the ATS Realistic Steering with Keyboard. This makes such a difference to your steering experience if you're a keyboard player. However, a warning, as of version 1.54 of the game, this is no longer a free mod. It will cost you $3. And I don't know, because I would refuse to pay for it. I don't know if you have to repurchase it when a new version of the game is released, or whether it's free updates forever. Perhaps somebody can answer that underneath the video in the comments. I have no idea on that. But for my version of the game, this of course is 100% free. The next thing that I have is the Grand Theft Auto 4 GPS voice navigation mod. I have the female version, and for me it's just perfect. You might want Arnold Schwarzenegger, or you know, one of a gazillion different voices. Personally, this is my personal favourite. Next up we have Creech Bum's Engine Sound Pack. The version that I need for 137 is 3.1. The latest version is 4.2, and these are all freely, readily available off the SCS forums. So again, you know, you don't have to throw money at Z-Mods or any other engine sound creator. Creech Bum is a terrific guy. All his sounds are free of charge, and it's just a case of hunting them down on the internet. Next up is a must-have, which I've used forever, which is the Sound Fixes pack. It tends to fix all the missing bits of sounds and a lot of the world and ambient sounds. Sorry, let me just check. EB, I'm still enjoying the old school Dodge I got from you. Causes me to give you a thought, mate. Oh, bless you, Dave. Thank you. Well, as long as you're enjoying it, that's all that matters. Realistic steering is one-time purchase, free updates. Thank you, Johnny. That's fantastic. So, you know, if it's $3 to buy the realistic steering for $155, I'd heartily recommend it. I think it's worth every penny. I really do. Then we have the graphics. The next one is JBX Weather. I have the free version because up to, I think it's 137, JBX was a free graphical mod. As of, I think it was 138, it went payware. I would probably use realistic, brutal weather and graphics if I was going to use a free one and couldn't access JBX. You can also, of course, deploy Reshade and SweetFX, which will save you having to have any of these mods at all. But as I say, for this specific profile build, I've gone with the JBX Weather 2. And last but not least is the Level of Detail mod, which was created by a wonderful YouTuber who's no longer with us called Wombat. He was from Sweden. And what this little tiny mod does is it stops trucks and mountains and trees suddenly spawning in from the middle of nowhere. So it basically extends the FOV beyond the line of sight so that stuff spawns in before you get there. Again, this is available free of charge off of Wombat's YouTube. You've only got to search Wombat on YouTube and all his map combos complete with shortcut links to all the mods will come up for you. So there you go, that's my Pro SCS build. Now there's no custom trucks in here, there's no custom trailers, I am only using SCS stuff. But of course you can add whatever you want, however make sure you get the load order correct. How do we do that, EB? Well, if you give me a minute, I'll show you. Okay, so the next section, once you've loaded your profile up and it's successfully loaded, the next thing you need to do is go in and change your settings. Now, a complete list of the settings that you need to enter into your config.cfg file are manually written out underneath this live stream. However, let me just show you my in-game settings so that you have a chance of replicating. Now, I'm on 1280 by 720, you could be on 1080p, 2K, 4K, 8K, whatever. The second one, refresh rate, always leave it on default. Never change that, leave it on default. Vertical sync, personally, I always have it enabled because it's on full screen, but that's your choice. And then if we go into the advanced settings, scaling 200%, normally I would use NVIDIA Profile Inspector, and that would only need to be set at 100% scaling. But of course these days I'm using an RTX graphics card, albeit a budget entry level one, the RTX 3050. And of course NVIDIA Profile Inspector is for GTX cards only. It's not compatible with RTX cards. So for this profile I tend to have scaling on 200% high. Anti-aliasing, it's a personal choice. You can choose anything from disabled, low, medium, high or ultra. It's whatever you prefer. And then high dynamic range, depth of field, sun shafts and colour correction are all on. Now these are the settings that make the difference between buttery smooth and picture book stuttering. Trust me, I've done it for long enough. First of all, I have reflection detail set to low, vegetation detail high, grass density disabled, shadow quality I have on medium, shadow texture size I set on custom, weather quality is ultra, everything else is either high or ultra. Now, by disabling your grass density and changing your anisotropic filtering from 16 times down to 1 times, no longer is your computer having to render 1,000 blades of grass at 16 times anisotropy. And that, I suggest, is Goggles 56 issue. If he disabled his grass density because he wants to look at blades of grass anyway, no biggie, and you move your anisotropy down to 1 times, that will in most cases fix any stuttering or micro freezing issues. However, that doesn't apply to 150 and above, which seems to have inherent stuttering and micro freezing inbuilt out the box as standard. So that's a really important tip for you. If you're using the keyboard steering mod, which I showed you earlier, these are the settings that I have. So steering non-linearity I always have fully to the left, and steering sensitivity is about on the default, it's about 25 to 30%. I don't have the percentage numbers because I'm on an older version of the game. And that is really all the settings that you need to know for your graphics and your control. Okay, let's talk about immersion. Hey up Craig, lovely to see you. I hope you and Michael are safe and well. So if we go to the gameplay section, let's just go through this. This is where all your immersion settings live. Now it's slightly different for 150 and above because they change the UI interface. But nevertheless, if you've got a newer version of the game, you'll have even more options than what I've got here. So first of all, it's your choice whether you have fatigue simulation or traffic offence on and off. I've got what I call sleeping off, traffic offence on. So if I get caught speeding, if I jump a red light, if I bump into somebody, I'm going to get fined. When you first starting out as an agency driver, you might want to uncheck that because it'll save you a lot of money in the long run. Preferred job length, I always leave that on default. Route advisor speed limit, well again I always have that show truck limit. You can select whatever you want. And then these are all checked except the keep route advisor hidden. Okay, on to the next immersion section. Map alignment, I always have it north and locked. Show navigation, always of course. Navigation mode, best. Well, if you click on this, you've got best, shortest and small roads. This is basically the route that the GPS will recommend to you. Best, it's going to use freeways whenever it can. Shortest, it doesn't really matter what the roads are, it will go for the shortest possible distance between 2 points. Small roads, it will try and avoid freeways and focus more on the smaller roads of the game. Random road events I usually have about halfway. I disable detours because I don't enjoy them, but that's a personal thing. If you like your detours, then you can set that to whatever level you want. Obviously, the further to the right the slider is, the more times you're going to be detoured or prevented from exiting a specific road or junction. Rain probability, I'll leave that on the default, but again that's your choice. Time zones, personally I have disabled, but you could have full info and it will always make sure the time zonage is correct. Show cutscenes, yep, that's ticked. Invert the mouse, no, I'll leave that unticked. Truck settings, I've got simple automatic because I'm a keyboard driver, but of course you could select real automatic or manual and change the gears yourself, etc, etc, it's your choice. Steering auto center, keyboard or gamepad only. Now I have this on. A lot of people don't like the steering wheel automatically centering itself. I quite like it, but you can turn that on or off, your choice, have a play with it. Braking intensity, truck stability and trailer stability. So braking intensity, I usually bring that down to about 35%. Truck stability, again about 35%. Trailer stability, I tend to bring that down to around 25 to 30%, and suspension stiffness around 25 to 30%. And you'll find that that will give you your best results without a shadow of a doubt, because you know, no truck in this world, no matter how good of an American truck it is, you know, A corners like it's on rails or B stops on a dime. Just doesn't happen. But again, I'm going for immersion. Now you could activate advanced trailer coupling, and I do heartily recommend that. I've got it disabled because I've got the truck stops in, and if you try and pick up triple trailers, when your pickup point is fully populated with trucks and trailers, you won't be able to. So I've got that deactivated for that reason. And then the other two immersive settings that I always have on are air brake simulation and realistic fuel consumption. So if you put your foot down, you can watch your fuel needle drop. Just saying. And it's all part of the immersion that's inbuilt into the game. Now, the only other setting you need really is the physical camera movement. I have that ticked on and around 50% usage. And that gives me a really nice effect on the truck in terms of, you know, the cab bouncing around, etc. So that is pretty much all you need to know about your in-game settings to have a really amazing immersive experience. So with your mods, with your settings, and in a minute the rest of what I'm going to show you, you can take a base SCS American truck or Euro truck, A, make it uniquely yours, but B, make it incredibly immersive, fun and thoroughly enjoyable, whilst having your profile completely and utterly different to my profile. And that's one of the strengths of these games. You can make it uniquely and individually yours just by adding a couple of simple mods, and you can make the game look and feel like you've spent $2,000 on payware mods when actually you've spent zilch, nada, nothing, absolutely bugger all. And of course you can also save yourself an utter fortune by using the keyboard, as opposed to going out and buying steering wheels, pedals, shifters and the like. Now, if you want to do that, knock yourself out, fill your boots, get the wallet out, throw as much money at it as you like. I don't personally get any pleasure out of that style of driving, which is why I prefer the keyboard. But that's me, not you. But if, like me, as Dave would say, you're a cheap bastard and you've bought the base game and you're never going to spend another penny on the game, well, then getting that little keyboard steering mod honestly is worth its weight in utter gold. And as I say, you can have whatever immersion you want. Now, the only mod that I don't have recommended is the one that freely moves you about the cab whenever you look. Now, you can download and install that free of charge if you have a webcam. There is a webcam version that will basically automatically do this whenever you move your head. But again, I don't want to be a webcam slave. That's just me personally. You might want to be. You might find it better than doing all of this. It's your choice, but I'll leave that up to you. But that's the only mod that I've not included in the profile, which I would heartily recommend as necessary. All the mods in my profile list I would consider necessary to have a fully immersive experience. However, there's a gazillion other mods that you could put in that maybe you can't live without. Truck mods, trailer mods, parts and tuning packs, all sorts of cool stuff. It's entirely up to you. Let me just check the chat. I'd say get a mod that makes the truck look like a Lamborghini. Well, If that's your pleasure, Michael, why not? I hope you're safe and well. Lovely to see you. So, that kind of ends our interest in the actual game side of things. The only other thing you need to do is activate this, which is called the console, because in the console you can enter commands directly, and it's really useful. There's a gazillion videos on YouTube on how to activate the command. It's just changing 2 lines in your config.cfg file, which is located in my documents and American Truck Simulator, so it's really not rocket science. But again, all the commands that are underneath this live stream could be entered directly into this console, will take effect immediately and will be automatically saved away. Okay, so what does that leave us to do? Well, it just leaves us to absolutely enjoy the pants out of the game and have as much immersion as we can possibly handle. Now, you know, you can set your own rules for the game. You can decide to stay in cab. You can decide that you're allowed to go out of cab. You can decide it's okay to look out the cab window and take that sort of position. You know, you can do whatever floats your boat, whatever you fancy doing. And I think this is the power and the magic of both American Truck Simulator and Euro Truck Simulator 2, in that we can all have exactly the same game, and yet we can all have a slightly different game experience. And I think that's fantastic, in that you can make it uniquely yours, and you don't have to spend a penny on the game. If you want to chuck some greenbacks at the game, as I say, knock yourself out, that's fine, there's nothing wrong with that. If you're a cheap bastard like me and you don't want to spend a penny on the game, well, you don't have to. And if your pleasure is not American Truck, which I happen to personally believe is the absolute better of the 2 games by a country mile, if you're on Euro Truck Simulator 2, well, you're in an even better position than American Truckers, because Euro Truck Simulator 2, most of the mods, probably 90% of the best mods, are 100% free of charge. Whereas you could argue 90% of the best mods for American Truck are payware. Just the way it is. And there we go. So I hope that's really helped a lot of you out. Now, if you still have questions or queries, please post them underneath the live stream once this becomes a video, and I'll do my best to respond to you in simple English. And if that's not enough, then look, I'm quite happy to make short videos on specific particular topics, you know, and it can be on anything as long as it's American Truck or Euro Truck, you know, doing massive map combos, what's the correct load order, what's the golden rule in load orders, you know, how do I find out if one mod is compatible with another, what do the log entries mean in the console, you know, it can be anything you like. As long as it's a genuine question and it's a subject that, you know, you can't get an answer to anywhere else, then come and have a word with old Ebeez, and old Ebeez will sort you out. because I've got hundreds if not thousands of hours in both American Truck and Euro Truck, doing everything from building mega combo profiles to fully pro immersive profiles, with everything from really old versions of the game to the absolute latest bang up to date versions of the game. If there's a specific mod that you'd like that you can't find, again, do feel free to post a request underneath the live streams once they are made into videos, and I will go find the mod for you and post a link to it underneath the live streams once they are converted by YouTube into videos. But you know, you can play this as immersively as you wish, or you can play it as unrealistically as you wish. It's your choice. Is that UK English or the correct USA English? Not sure what you mean, Dave. I'd have to go and look it up. But you know, I'm happy to help as many of you, and you know, no question is too stupid. I tell you what is too stupid: being afraid to ask the question. That's what's stupid. So if any of you've got any questions on how to do this, what's the best way to do that, how have you done this, how have you got that to work, just post underneath the videos, and as I say, I'll do my absolute best to answer them in simple plain English for you. If you still don't get it, then post underneath and I'll do a tutorial video on it for you all. But I've had hundreds of hours of pure pleasure out of both games, when in reality I should have had hundreds of thousands of hours. I think I've got 2,500 hours in Euro Truck and around 1,500 hours in American Truck actually playing the game. In terms of modding it, building profiles, testing and configuring them, well, it far exceeds that. Just bear with me a second while I check the that plain English is what I mean, Ebeez. Oh, sorry, Dave. Well, if I use the Queen's English, then of course none of you will understand bloody anything, because I doubt that any American can understand, let alone comprehend what I'll be typing. So yeah, you know, the ball's now in your court. If you need some help, or you know, you want to know something, well, you know, I'm here. If you don't ask, well, that's on you. It's as simple as that. Okay, I've got an indicator on somewhere. Now I'm currently running 136 on Euro Truck Simulator 2 and 137 on American Truck. And the only real difference between the two builds is that 137 uses the newer Fmod sound system, where 136 uses the older sound system, which I prefer in Euro Truck purely for the free creech bum and engine sounds. Whereas of course on American Truck, well, you know, creech bum's pack is quite happily set up and configured for Fmod, so it makes sense to run an Fmod version of the game, whether you're on, like me, 1.37 or whether you're on the latest 1.55. and as I say, you can play it however floats your boat. In the upcoming live streams, we'll be doing a lot of wacky builds, as well as my main, the whole of the USA build. But the one thing that stays constant are your core set of mods, your core in-game settings, and your core config.cfg settings. They never change, whether you're building, you know, a massive map combo or whether you're building just a base SCS map. You've really got the best of all worlds. So, going to fire up the smoker and got 2 port shoulders to go in. Got down to high 50s last night here. Oh, bless you, Dave. Hey up, Beck. Lovely to see you. Hope you're safe and well. So, yeah, that's good for you, Dave. You fill your boots, big boy. I know you will anyway. So if you want to have the most immersive experience, and like me, you don't have a $5,000 gaming PC, well, if you follow my recommendations, whether you're using an NVIDIA graphics card or whether you're using an AMD graphics card or one of the newer Intel Arc graphics cards, you'll have a fabulous experience, and one that's really immersive and challenging as well, and one that you can call your own, uniquely your own, and just enjoy the pants out of it. Now, as I say, in upcoming live streams I'll be covering both combo map builds and standalone map mods, because some of the standalone ones I've never ran with before, and they're giving me an awful lot of pleasure and entertainment, even if they are absolutely insane, some of them. And I'll also aim to do exactly the same for Euro Truck Simulator 2, but obviously you just have to be a little bit patient, and just wait for the live streams, all the videos to come around, because I've just got that much on at the moment in terms of gaming, with World of Warships, Guild Wars 2, the trucking, going through my back catalogue with Half-Life 2. Yeah, you know, the Fallout series is just so much to cover, and I can't do it all at once. So what I'm doing is, you know, a little bit nice and easy. I am using a lot of reshade. I find that to be wonderful where your game permits the use of reshade. A lot of online games don't permit the use of reshade, but of course most offline games are fine with it. You're good to go. So maybe I'll do separate live streams on that and how I get the best out of it, obviously, and how you can use reshade without actually using reshade is also pretty cool, just saying. So there you go, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to end the live stream here. Have a wonderful, safe evening. Much love to each and every one of you. Enjoy your trucking, whether that's American truck or Euro truck, and remember, you don't have to spend a penny on the game to have a wonderful immersive trucking experience. Thank you so much, all of you, for your support. Oh, bless you. I'm so glad your work's done for the day. You had a long day. I hope, if nothing else, it gives you the incentive to go and have a go and enjoy the pants out of what is arguably one of the best value for money games ever made. Cheers everybody, much love. I'll catch you all in the next one.